Good morning, class. Standard 8 History. Today, chapter is the Mauryan Empire 322 BC to 185 BC. This is the Mauryan period, the Chandragupta Maurya. What he did, administration from today's life is like a corporation, panchayat, village panchayat, samiti, likewise. He also set up in 4th century. It's a great. That rules and regulations still we are following. Now introduction. Let me introductions Mauryan Empire. The Mauryan dynasty was founded in 4th century BC. Bimbisara, the 6th century BC, his son Ajitashthru, the 5th century BC, and Mahabadmananda, the 4th century BC, were the three among the rulers of Magadha who were very powerful. In that there is a son also, Nanda. He is an unpopular leader, unpopular king. He lost his territory, he lost everything. What his story is telling? Let's see. In the last quarter of the 4th century BC, because of their policy of heavy taxation, Nandas become very unpopular. This policy system he made is not suitable to the people. People doesn't like him. He raised taxes of land. Whoever is there, put up more tax. Who will take? Nobody going to take that. Taking the advantage of is unpopular. Some kings are taken advantage of this. Of the unpopularity of the Nandas, Chandragupta Maurya organized a powerful army and captured the throne of Magadha. Because Bimsara made Ajitashthru, then it will be Mahabadmananda. After that, Nanda came, very unpopular to people. So other Rajas, kings captured the Chandragupta Maurya, planned and captured the Mauryans. Thus Chandragupta Maurya laid foundation of Mauryan dynasty. Now sources of Mauryan Empire. Where we will get the sources? Now literacy sources. Arthashastra of Kautilya. Second thing, Indica of Megasthenes. Now let's see Arthashastra of the Kautilya. It is a treasure house of politics and rules of diplomacy and principles of administration of Mauryan period. It was written in Sanskrit by Kautilya, who was the advisor of the Chandragupta Maurya and was also known as Vishnugupta and Chanakya. It contains 6,000 slokas and divided into 15 sections and 180 subjects. Now, Indica of Megasthenes. It is a book written by Megasthenes, who was the Greek Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya, Megasthenes stayed in Patliputra, that means the capital of Mauryan Empire, about 5 years, and wrote about his impression of the what he noticed during his stay. Now we'll come to archaeological sources. Ashokan edicts. Second is Sanji Stupa. Now still it is Sanji Stupa is in Madhya Pradesh. What you get? Ashoka pillar. Every coin and every notes, Indian currencies, having the 4 lines, 3 lines visible and 4th line is not visible. That is our feeling. That our national emblem is line. So likewise, Ashokan edicts are instructions of the king of the subject and are. They regarded a unique collection of documents. These edicts contained descriptions of the principles of the Dharma, including treatment of men and animals. Ashoka's inscriptions can be classified into 3 categories. It is 1, rock edicts, second one, pillar edicts, third one, cave inscriptions. Now Sanjitupa, about Sanjitupa, it is a Buddhist stupa. It was built by Ashoka to enshrine the relics of Buddha. Its magnificent gateways have sculptures which depict episodes from Buddha's life and from Jadkot Tolls. So this is the Sanjitupa, shows the history. The next I will come to the political history of the Mauryan Empire. What is the political history? Chandragupta Maurya, after laying foundation of the Mauryan Empire, ruled from 324 BC to 300 BC. Chandragupta was succeeded by his son Bindusara, who ruled from 300 BC to 273 BC. After the death of Bindusara, his son Ashoka usurped the throne and ruled from 273 BC to 233 BC. The dates of the Ashoka formal accession to the throne was 269 BC to 268 BC. It is only 1 year. According to some historians, because of the possibility of fratricidal war, that means family war, killing a brother and sister, own brother and sister, that is called fratricidal war. There was a gap of 4 years between the death of Bindusara and the date of Ashoka's formal accession to the throne. The empire of Maurya declined rapidly after Ashoka because of his incapable successors. Now I'll come to the Mauryan administrations. There are central administration, provincial administration, military administrations, judicial administration, municipal administrations. So let's see first central administration, what he did. King was the supreme authority and his throne was hereditary. It was also supreme judges and the supreme commander of the armed forces. King was assisted by the council of ministers, that is a Mantri Parishad, headed by prime minister. Each minister was given of his department, like our prime minister and council of ministers. What are the department they given portfolios, like railways, home minister, foreign minister, fertilizer minister, highway minister, education minister, health minister, likewise. Other officers who assisted the council of ministers included in chief pujari, priest. Pujari means priest of the state called Prohit. Senapati advised the king on matters relating to war and peace. Sanidata was the taxation expert. Sanidata meant income tax department. Ashoka took periodical tours of the kingdom by himself and brought about small changes in the administrative system and appointed Mahamantras, that means governors. Now president appoint on behalf of him. Every state have governors. They are representing president, governor of the state. To look after the welfare of his subjects. Next, central administration was divided into 32 departments headed by Adhyakas. There is a 32 department that is headed by the Adhikyas. That means the systematic departments. Now during Chandragupta, that is provincial administrations, during Chandragupta's reign, there were 4 provinces, namely Magadha, that is capital of Pataliputra, Gandhara, capital of Taxila, Avanti, eastern province, capital Ujjain. 4th, south province, capital Surangiri. After the addition of Kalinga, Ashoka added in it list of provinces with capital Tosli. Provinces were headed by the Kumaras, that is called Aryaputra, and they were generally the princes of royal families. During Ashoka's region, the Kumaras were assisted by the governors, that is Mahamatras. Besides the Mahamatras, other officers like Pratishika collected taxes, Rajuka performed the function of whole day, like a secretary, normally called IAS officer, like. Tahsildar was a revenue officer and Yukta was a treasurer. The provinces were further divided into district, and a district consisted of number of villages. Districts was headed by Stanika and the village was headed by Gramika. That is Grama. Village called the Grama. Now military administrations. King was the supreme commander of military, infantry, cavalry, war elephants, war chariots, transport and admiralty. Continued the army headed by the board. Office was constituted by 30 members consisting of 6 boards of 5 members each. Every board they'll have 5 members each. The judicial administrations. King's judgment was final. Justice was administered by the two type of courts. That is, they are having two type of courts. One is Dharmasastya courts. Second one, the Kantasodhana court. Kantasodhana. Kantasodhana means what is the real fact. Foreigners were tried by special judges. Petty disputes at village level were decided by the village leaders. Now come to the municipal administrations. Pataliputra, Taxila and Ujjain were governed by municipal administration. It was administered by the commission consisting of 30 members divided into 6 boards, each consisting of 5 members. Same thing as I told you, military administration type. Each board has specific function to perform. Apart from these boards, the municipal council collectively looked after local needs of the people. Now I will come to the salient feature of the Mayuran Empire, Mayuran administrations. They are very intelligent. They will keep intelligence report also, spy system. Whatever, every department they'll have a spy system. Who is doing what, who is not doing what. Likewise, they are also had spy system to find out who is spying us. Their own people. That is called intelligence system. Now that I'll talk about the spy system. Mayuran administration had an excellent spy system. The spies kept the emperor informed about the activities of officials from the lowest to highest level. They reported the weaknesses of the government. There were two types of spies, stationary spies and wandering spies. Stationary means they will around the office look after who is getting bribe, who is not getting. One is rounding, wandering. They will visit every office and get information about who is getting bribe, who is without bribe. Any work, any public goes, normally you have seen, if you go to corporation, they want something to include Aadhaar card also, they will ask 500 rupees, give, like that. These all enquiry the spy system will cover. Those system still you are following. I don't know, in our democratic world they are keeping some spies to find out. I don't know. Now I'll come to revenue systems. The land revenue was chief sources of income in the Mauryan Empire. Two types of land revenue were Sitagar, which was collected directly by the state, and Bog, derived from the produce, and generally 1 out of 6 to 1/4 of the total productions. That means what are the production, culture, agriculture produce the food grains, 1/4 go to the tax. Taxes were also collected from the forests and mines. From the revenue collected, the state provided various facilities like roads, irrigations, hospitals, and meet other expenses of the state. So these are the salient pieces of the Mauryan administrations. Now Ashoka's Dhamma, this is important for your examinations. What is Ashoka's Dhamma? This principle. Ashoka's Dhamma was not a new religion. It was an essence of all religions. It was the Prakrit word used Ashoka in place of Sanskrit word Dharma. Ashoka widely propagated his own view of Dharma among his subjects by getting it engraved on rocks and pillars all over his kingdoms. Whatever the captive Ashoka, he will make engraved the rock. Engrave means writing the rocks. Ashoka's Dhamma was comprised some well-known principles of morality like Satya, Dan, and Daya. Satya means truth, Dan means donation, Daya means courtesy. These three things. As part of his Dhamma as a king, he launched various public welfare activities. As another part, he adopted measures to promote morality among his subjects. He also banned certain festivals and known as samajas, in which people used to indulge in drinking, gambling, and other undesirable activities. So any parties arranged means they will play game, they will drink, then they will have some dance with the girls. That also is banned. Now, principles of the Ashoka's Dhamma. What are the principles? What is the motto of the Ashoka Dhammas? Respect elders and love children. Ahimsa or non-violence. Theory of karma. Karma means what you are doing today, it will affect on your future. Religious tolerance. Non-belief in ritual and ceremonies. So these things, principles of Dhamma. Let me read out. After bloodshed of Kalinga War, Buddhism had made a deep impact on the mind of Ashoka. He adopted the policy of Dharma Vijaya rather than Digvijaya. Dharma Vijaya means winner or loser. No, he adopted Dharma. Digvijaya is the murder, is the life of death. He appointed Dham Maha Mantras. Dham Maha Mantras. Dhamma Mantras of propagation of Buddhism. To spread the Buddhism to he appointed Dhamma Maha Mantras. Buddhism was declared the state religion, although he was tolerant towards other religions too. Whether other castes also, other religion also, you can tolerate. Ashoka convened the third Buddhist council at his capital Pataliputra in 251 BC to 252 BC. A treatise, that means Katavastu, that means treatise means Katavastu, was written at this council. Rock edicts of inscriptions contained instruction on religious matters, especially Buddhism. The edicts were inscribed in Prakrit. He also erected stupas, monasteries, that means viharas, long statues, were constructed throughout the length and breadth of the country for the residents of Buddhist bhikkhunis and bhikkhusas and bhikkhunis, bhikkhunis, bhikkhunis. Ashoka personally visited all holy places of Buddhism and sent his son Mahendra and daughter Sanghmitra to preach Buddhism in Ceylon in Sri Lanka. On account of his extensive propagations, Buddhism spread to Nepal, Sri Lanka, Burma, Afghanistan, West Asia, China, Japan, Korea, Siberia, Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia. In course of time, it became world religions. So this type of Mauryan Empire has spread. Now timeline of the events, when they spread. Invasion of Alexander, that is 326 BC. Chandragupta Maurya formed Mauryan dynasty in 322 BC, and Chandragupta Maurya's region 297 BC. Then Bindusara's region, it is 297 to 273 BC. Ashoka regions, that is 268 to 232 BC. And decline of Mauryan dynasty 185 BC. The Kalinga War, that is between 260 to 261 BC, that is Kalinga War. After Kalinga War only Ashoka became a human. Previously it was it looked like a unhuman, is always wanted to kill everyone. After the Kalinga War there is a lot of bloodshed, lot of murder. He became a human. He turned into a human to control the war. So this is the Mauryan Empire topic. I hope you will understand. If you go through a textbook, you will find everything clear it is. Good morning class. Stay safe. Stay home.